Hello everyone, my name is Ngọc Duy Nguyễn, student ID S224916123. Today, in this presentation, I will show how I can create a user interface to enable user to interact with the database. So the first thing that I will do is I choose some technologies that enable me to do that. So the first one, I create a database in SQL's Workbench, and to connect it with the database, I have to use the web server called SAMS. And to create a user interface, I have to do some coding, and two programming language that I use is HTML and PHP. Yeah. So firstly, I will navigate to the MySQL and I create a database called C2 task and a table called user accounts. So user account had the account ID, account email, account phone, plan ID, and related. That is what I did in the mini project. So I try to solve the table. So now there is no record anymore in the table. So after I connect the database into the web server, we can also view the database there. Yeah. Um, Now the account ID, account email, account phone, and plan ID related is empty because there are no records. So to go to the user interface to insert the data, I use the web server called localhost my project. I will explain it later. So just try to insert first HTML, and that is the user interface there. So let's try to insert some inappropriate data. So I insert the account ID as 001, emails 10.com. I don't insert the phone number, the date, and plan ID too. So now I complete the data. So now it will rule the exception because it's required on fields must be filled. So I go to the, and you can see that no data is inserted in the database. So I insert again with the same account ID, email, and number phone. Yep, let's do that. And now the recovery access successfully. So we navigate back to the database and reload the web, and you can see the record was added into the database. So this will also added in the MySQL Workbench as well. So I select the on columns again and run. Yeah, you can see the records also added in the MySQL Workbench. It means that MySQL Workbench and the SAM is connected now. And finally, let me quickly explain what I did into the HTML and PHP. So firstly, I want to navigate to the Flickr, go to the applications, choose SAM, and into the SAM, I go to the htdocs. Inside the htdocs, we have to create a new folder with any name. So in this case, I create a my project folder, and the HTML and PHP file have to store inside the my project. So let me open the form HTML. So inside the HTML, firstly, I declare the document type here is HTML and create a title for the webs. So it is a add user account, and the body. The body is use the form methods post with the name of the form is new accounts, and all the data insert in into the form, we'll go to the insert user.php to insert into the database and perform some validation as well. So for each insertion, we have to declare first the input type and second the name. So for the input type, it is the data type of its attributes. So for example, in the account ID, the input type is number. For the email, the data type email, and phone number, text. And for the related dates, the data type is date data type. And for the name here have to be the same with the name we declare in the database. For example, the account ID will corresponding to the name account ID, and which is the same with the name, with the email, phone number, related date, and plan ID. And finally, we create a button called complete and to submit all of these insertions into the insert user.php. So now let I show you what happens into the insert user.php. So inside the insert user.php, firstly, if the post method will call in from the HTML, we will create an object called cons. That is a MySQLi object. We put it with four arguments. The first one is the host. Here is localhost. The user is root, and the password here is empty because there's no password for the root. And the name of the database that we want to work with is C2 task. So if the connection is some error is cannot connection, so we have to inform user that there is failed to connect to the database. So if the connection was successfully, we then input the data. So the account ID, account name, phone, and plan ID, and related that there are 5 variables with corresponding to what we input into from the HTML. So then we have to perform some validation here. So firstly, we have to check if the email is input into the valid format or not. If the email is in the invalid format, we have to rule the exception to inform user that there is error in the format of email, so that user can input again or do something else. Next, we have to also check if we have to make sure that both account ID, account email, account phone, and plan ID and related dates is not known. If each of them is known, we have to rule the exception to notify that there is error because on of them must be filled. So if the data pass both validation, we have to insert the data into the database. The statements here is the same with what we did in the SQLs. And if the statement executes successfully, we will bring a message that the error was added successfully. And if not, we have to notify that there is something wrong. And finally, we have to close the statement and the connection as well. So let's say navigate back to the localhost, and as you can see that. So firstly, when you input the data, we are into the form HTML, and after we input the data, for example, we will navigate here is in the insert user PHP, and that's it. So that is the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions about the same HTML or database or so on, Just let's comment below. I will please to answer all of them. Thank you.